I'm serious. I have yet to get ones that work right. I've been doing this how long? What's up, family? How you doing? Welcome to R8RBEAR Family's flagship show, R8RBEAR Live, with your host, this guy, R8RBEAR! What's up, fam? How we doing? You ready to go? I know I'm ready to go. We got a lot to discuss. I got to answer your questions. I got to bring up my point on things. Then we got to talk about other stuff that's got stuff. It's been busy in a good way. Woo! Often imitated, never duplicated. Nah, that fool with no head that shouts like Ric Flair. Woo! The R8RBEAR! What's up, fam? Appreciate you tuning in. Always there for the R8RBEAR. But first, tradition! R8RBEAR Live! First comment, woo! MVP tonight goes to... I don't know. How dumb was that? Okay, there we go. On YouTube, goes to... I get to play with the toys tonight. Get out of here. David Pelkaliva! Because he always sounds like that, like that. I always get that Mel Gibson, Irish-Scottish battle, out of his name. What's up, brother? Welcome to the show. Always there for R8RBEAR. Second place, my silver medal goes to John the Lion. Leon. Always dropping L's, but never taking losses. Always about the legacy. Ooh, my guy. What are you doing? All right, we turn that off. John the Lion Leon. Appreciate you, brother. Third place, my bronze medal goes to S.A. Big Dog. What's up, brother? Welcome to the show. Holding it down, third place. Welcome. Oh, honorable mention goes to the heavyweight champion, Mark Vargas. That 5-moji making son of a gun. He still made time for my emojis. All right, Facebook. We have something of an upset on Facebook tonight. No, not this time, not tonight. My good friend in the house, Bob Stannard, and his sassy wife, Casey. Hi, Casey. Hi to the cats. Yes, Bob, I can't remember the last time Carlos Boykins didn't win number one. Speaking of which, second place, silver medal, Carlos Boykins. What's up, champ? Welcome to the show. Always there for R8RBEAR. Carlos, don't mind that. Bob was just feeling spunky. It's been a while since I've had the show. That's all. When he gets like that, he gets, that's my guy, though. His wife is a sassy monkey. Well, maybe the monkey reference, pickles, like as opposed to bananas, whatever. Third place, the G-Man himself, Jim Garrison. What's up, G-Man? Welcome to the show. Always there for R8RBEAR. Appreciate and love you all checking in. And we got this Raider business to discuss. Honorable mention goes out to my guy, handsome Joe Holman. What's up, Joe? Welcome to the show, bro. Always appreciate you tuning in. Carlos Boykins, just dealing with stuff. You know what I mean? Just dealing with stuff. It's mostly that. It was somewhat of a staycation. You know what I mean, too? Took a little staycation instead of a vacation. Chris Strong, what's up, brother? Welcome to the show. Bear! Oh, Chris sees me coming. The stash, it's getting a mind of its own right now. It really does. No hair, Ric Flair. That's right. Raider C-Dub, what's up, man? Welcome to the show. V Miller, hi, V. What's up, girl? V, when's your next show on? You make sure you post in the comments. Let everybody know. Michael Guerrero, Naked Raider in the house, still says Raider Bear 2028. What are you laughing for? If I run, you're going to vote for me, right? If Stephen A. Smith can, be that much of an arrogant, narcissistic nitwit, maybe I can too. David Draper, what's up, man? Welcome to the show. Sorry about not getting the noti, man. Al Domingo, what's up, man? Welcome to the show. Lucky Pace, always there for the Raider Bear. Right. Jeremy, sorry, reading people's comments. Jeremy McCrary, what's up, brother? Welcome to the show. Travis Kelly, I see you there. What's up? Ellis, I appreciate you checking in, Ellis. Just, family stuff, health stuff, my little staycation, that kind of thing. Steven Shaw, what's up, man? Welcome to the show. Check it out, Steven. I'm always using my Steven Shaw coffee cup. Troy Gill, I see you, brother. What's up, man? Sean Scott, I appreciate the love. Miss you too, Steven. Tony, make it dip. Bear! Appreciate the love, brother. Always good to see you. All right, so the thing with Max Crosby was a real thing. Now, when I say that, what I mean is that it wasn't that Max Crosby wanted to go. I think it was just as much, there was some of that, but I think it was just as much the front office, though, too, mimicking what John Gruden did to Khalil Mack. I didn't want to interrupt it, but I will now. Okay, there we go. So, much like John Gruden did to Khalil Mack, they would make a move with your best player to clear lots of room and space, and so on and so forth, and get another guy in there that hopefully can play as well, but also shore up some holes in other places, get picks to get more guys in the door through the draft, et cetera, et cetera. And so that was a real thing. But what happened was the Raiders won. Oh, and by the way, this is purely speculation. I want to be completely upfront about that. I'm not giving you a story that I can confirm 1,000% is true. I can't do that. All I'm doing is giving you a story I was given, and I just believe it's true. So I think it's even made it over ESPN at least once. So it's probably true. I don't know. But anyway, long story short, the real reason the Max Crosby deal fell through was because the Ravens were pissed off that we got that incredible center from the Giants, because the Ravens wanted that center. They wanted him bad. And from what I'm getting from my source is that the Ravens were, sweetening the deal and, really talking to them and really trying to make this happen. They even offered more than we did. And Lindenbaum, I got to work on how I say his name, but he himself said, no, I wanted to be a Raider. He said, ultimately, it came down to, I wanted to be a Raider. It's like, ouch, Ravens. Take that one in the bird's nest. So now, put butts in them. Both foots with my Nikes on. Just so it really hurts. But regardless, the Ravens got all butthurt because we took that deal. So they killed the Max Crosby deal because, remember, they were sort of doing us a favor. Max had gotten kind of rattled in the press, was kind of not happy with the direction the team was going in. It seemed like we were rudderless. For those of you who understand that term, you'll see what I mean exactly. And it just basically means it seemed like there was no one in charge, and then when there was someone in charge, they were incompetent. And so he kind of was saying, hey, if this is the way we're going again, I kind of want out. And they went, oh yeah, well, we've been thinking about moving you anyway for picks. And so that's kind of how it came to fruition. But then once the deal died, because the Ravens got upset, the Raiders just said, okay, give us back our player and we'll go make moves. And then we did, bringing in two 25-year-old active linebackers, okay, in their prime. Kwity Paye, a defensive end. My guy, handsome Joe Holman, finally got a defensive end. And I would say to you, Joe, you're going to be real happy when I say this to you. The signing of Kwity Paye tells you that they absolutely are going to go for a defensive end in the draft. They're going to look for someone that's a monster. Now, don't get me wrong. We're not going to use our number one pick for that. We're going to get Mendoza. But the moment we get past Mendoza, I think we're going after someone on the defensive line that's going to be nasty and on the board that, looks like he should have been a first-round talent. And we instead get him as a high second-round pick. I think this is amazing what's going on right now. The show's just starting. We still have so much to talk about. But I appreciate you tuning in. And if you guys have any questions, go ahead and type in. And I'll start checking them out right now as we go. I'll tell you more as we go and answer your questions. And don't forget, for those of you who aren't subscribed, please subscribe to Raider Bear Live. If you would, on YouTube, please like and follow. If you do not like each time you watch me on YouTube, that might be why you're not getting the alert that my show is on. Okay, so I do know that happens. If you don't like a show once you've watched it, it tells the algorithm that you didn't enjoy the show. So then it won't show you that anymore. The algorithm is reacting to you. Recognize that. So on YouTube, anytime you watch something that someone makes, that someone who's a creator, they put something out there and you laugh and you enjoy it, give them a like, give them a subscribe. It's, obviously it's free. And, then that guy, that girl, whoever it may be, will be in your inbox the next morning when you wake up. Jesse Parker, my fashion designer. What's up, brother? Welcome to the show. I'm really, really excited for the NFL draft. I can't wait to draft for Nana Mendoza with the first overall pick. Go Raiders. I'm going to get his jersey the first chance I get. I have a Raider jersey collection. Jeremy McCrary first about the collection. That doesn't surprise me at all. I know you're a hard Raider fan. But, honestly, I think that this is about as excited as I've been as a Raider fan in quite a while, because we all know that when you get the young, best quarterback coming out of the draft, that means something's coming. Now, what that coming is either good to great, or CJ Stroud, where you show up, you look really good, you come back next year, wah, 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 and you can't do anything because now the league has tape on you. They know your tendencies. They know you like to run right, et cetera, et cetera. And so will we have a Mendoza who can get past that second-year learning curve, not telegraph the things he does, and grow as a quarterback? Because whatever Mendoza was in college, he has to be better now. If you win in 2028, you got to make me your Secretary of War. Our Secretary of Peace. And that wasn't me being holier than thou. I'm just having fun. Oh, what's up, Edward? My guy, Winchy. What's up, Winchy? Welcome to the show. Always there for Raider Bear. The real reason was the Ravens thought about giving up 2 number ones and realized they were crazy to move forward. Well, yeah, but I think, honestly, Edward, it was after they realized they were not going to win that center. They're going to need those 2 first-round picks to either get a center or, whatever the other, move they feel is important for them. Bradley Wolf. Evening, my bro, Bear. Recovering from back surgery yesterday, but had to check in with you. I appreciate that, brother. Much love. That's commitment right there, okay? I'm sorry. I don't care what anybody says, okay? You get your back jammed up and you're in the hospital and you go, you know what? I better check in on the Raider Bear. Much love to you, brother. Much love to you, brother. Heal soon. One prayer for you one time for a fast heal. Let's see. Everyone knew Crosby wasn't going to pass his physical, and so did Baltimore. Well, no, Edward, I don't disagree with that, but I think they still wanted to go through with the deal. That's why I'm saying they knew about the knee, but then they used it as an excuse to get out of what was a bad deal for them because they wanted to move the 2 picks and get that center. When they didn't get the center, moving the 2 picks just hurts you. I mean, yeah, you get Max Crosby, but you get Max Crosby, obviously we know who Max Crosby is. If we put him out there next year, he's going to be our great talent. He's going to get a lot of sacks, okay? But had he been with the Ravens, we don't know what that would have been. Their strength and conditioning team is different. The weather they train in is different. The coaching staff there is different. Are they going to make him work as hard in the gym and so on to where he then gets healthy and stays healthy? I don't know. Maybe their medical staff sucks. I don't know enough about the Ravens, but I can say there's no telling what you might have gotten had Max gone there. It could have gone bad, and you get 2 first-round picks for it. Well, Sean Scott, Bill Cox. I put foots in him. I am now convinced that Malcolm Kuntz has the naked pictures of Mark Davis with that 25 or 28-year-old blonde that was in the box with him. Yeah, you know who I'm talking about. They made a big deal to put him on camera with that blonde Barbie girl sitting there eating nachos like all dainty because she's on camera. Mark Davis looking like a damn fool, like great grandpa took his great granddaughter to the game. Put foots in. Oh man, my Mark Davis takes are going to get much worse soon. Jesse Parker, I appreciate the love, brother. Well, Bill Cox, I think the real reason why some people are hesitant on Bosa is because he's hit or miss. When he's on, he's good. When he's hurt, obviously he can't play, then he's bad. He's having no effect on anything other than your cap space. And I don't like that. And in all truth, I don't like either of the Bosa boys. Even the one with the Niners, I just don't like him. Now, when I say that, am I talking about his personality, the fact that he seems like a racist jerk, and there's proof of that on the internet? I'm not going to go into all that. I'm just saying I wanted to give myself at least somewhat of an explanation as to why I dislike his behavior and his thought process. But he's not a very nice guy, and it reflects in his locker room with his teammates and so on. And I think that's part of why the Niners always make mistakes on defense just at the wrong moments. Well, the 2 best defensive ends were going to be gone in the first 5 or 6 picks. After that, everyone else is just a guy, but it might not be a bad guy. Well, Joe, any defensive end you get in the second round is going to be a boss. It doesn't necessarily mean they're going to become an all-star, but I mean, if we have someone that can come across from Max's side, right to left, if he could go on that other side and short things up and at least draw enough attention to let Max work one-on-one, he's done his job. You know what I mean? I'm not saying we need a superstar over there. We need someone that can let Max work. Armando Medrano. One of my favorite names. What's up, brother? Welcome to the show. Hey, Bear. Wow, it's been a long time. Glad I finally caught the show. Yeah, Armando, and it wasn't you. It was me. I've been off for a little while. Ravens had buyer's remorse. You laugh, but I think that's exactly what it was. Oh. Bradley Wolf said, appreciate the prayer. No, of course, brother. Of course. I appreciate it. I'm all for peace, but if someone needs a foot in the I believe in giving them what they need. Oh, can't wait to play the Ravens. Yeah, Edward, that's going to be a hell of a game. Travis Kelly said Lindenbaum left for the silver and black, and 5 other Ravens followed Harbaugh to the Giants. The Ravens panicked and needed the picks back to replenish their losses. No, now see, that's the kind of take I'm trying to get at. Now, I feel like it's just the moves they were going to make. Everything came out from under them. We got Lindenbaum. I'm not trying to make it sound like a JFK conspiracy. There's nothing fancy about it. We got the guy they wanted that was a part of their moves. And when we got that guy, they panicked because they had so many other people leaving and they weren't replacing, positions on their team. So now you're almost guaranteed the Ravens are not going to have a very good year next year, because whatever plan they're putting forward at this point is obviously plan B, C, or D. McDonald's cook Jim, are you originally from Oakland? I was born there, brother. My mother and father met there, and then I was born and raised. I have family there to this day. The fact that DaCosta and Minter don't meet him at the front door and waited hours to greet him told me all I needed to know. Straight trash organization. Yeah. Bear, what are your thoughts on bringing in a veteran quarterback or Derek Carr as a quarterback coach for Mendoza? Okay, I don't like the Derek Carr thing at all. I don't like it at all. I'm looking at everyone that's a Derek Carr lover, and I'm saying to you, I do not hate Derek Carr. But there's something to me that's bad about putting a guy who was with the franchise for 9 years, and in that period of time, he won nothing. Nothing. But now, hey guys, pay attention to what this guy has to say. I would sooner hire Kurt Warner. I mean, at least he had to work his off and, did it to get there. Whether the guy's a good teacher or not, I don't know. We'd find out. But I'd sure as hell rather that guy than a Derek Carr that, can talk about how much he loves the franchise and honors the Raiders and blah, blah, blah. You won nothing. Now, don't get me wrong. Most of you watching my show right now, you get it. You're saying, Bear, why does he have to have a Super Bowl win? Why does he have to have a bunch of different playoff runs? Because that's what younger players who are in the middle of their extremely as important a thing in their entire life as their career and their contracts, and they need to win now. And you see Derek Carr come jogging out to the field to talk to you when he's done nothing but lose. It's no offense to Derek. If he wants to do the PR stuff, join the team. Go up in the box. Talk about us all the time. Be a broadcaster. If he wants to help with the team, sure. Go out there. Help with the offense. Be an extra voice for the offensive coordinator. But as far as a quarterback's coach where he's specifically working with Mendoza, what's the first thing he's going to tell Mendoza? Be honest. Think about it. Protect that throwing percentage. You want to protect your career, you got to keep that throwing percentage up. So if you look at a route and it looks open, but there's 2 guys that are close, don't throw into that. You don't want to mess with your percentages or you won't get that next huge contract, because people will say, look, he doesn't know how to read a defense. He throws right into the defense, which Derek Carr's admitted multiple times that was why sometimes he was gun shy for throws that the Raider fans wanted him to make that he wouldn't. Nothing against Derek Carr. It's not personal. Great guy, great husband, all that, never gets in trouble, all that stuff. Other players should model their lives how he lives his. And I mean that seriously. He stays out of trouble. He's clean. You know what I mean? But what young players in the middle of their careers respect is winners or veterans that are incredibly talented. Seen something about Davis selling his majority stake in the Raiders. Well, Sean Scott, I do have that story. Let me go ahead and pull that up because I wanted to read a little article that one of my friends gave me that kind of covers it here. Hold on, I'm dealing with technology and technology hates me. Okay, NFL owners are set to vote on the Raiders' succession plan. Now, when you hear it that way, it sounds very different. That does not sound like Mark Davis wants to sell his percentage of the team. It sounds more like what it says. The NFL owners are getting ready to vote on the Raiders' succession plan. So that means they're planning on Mark being out. And when Mark's out, how is this going to work? So one of the majority owners, let's see. NFL owners are scheduled to vote on the succession plan that would give Silver Lake co-chief executive officer Egan Durbin the option to purchase a majority stake in the team from the longtime owner, Mark Davis, according to multiple ownership and team executives with direct knowledge of the situation. Although sources close to Davis say he has no intention of selling his majority stake, the vote would mean that if and when Davis or his heirs did decide to sell, Durbin, a limited partnership, would have the option to buy the club outfit. So, in other words, Mark Davis is saying, I'm not going to sell out my majority. Now, there is a catch here, and they're not talking about it. I don't know why, but there is a catch. Mark Davis could have one piece of stock in the Raiders and still be the majority owner. It's in a contract. When family passes Sorry, my mic went out there. I apologize. So getting back to what we were saying, I'm sorry. I'm right back where we left off. So Mark Davis could lose the team, but there is a clause in his contract that says as long as he has at least 1% of stock in the Raiders, he's still the majority owner. It's a bylaw that was created to protect families. I don't know why. It's odd to me, but here's what it is. If Jesse Parker, my fashion designer, decides to buy as much or more stake in the Raiders organization as everyone else, he buys out everyone involved except Mark Davis, he still doesn't have more than Mark Davis because your family bequeaths it down to family and then you get it, you're protected. Whereas if family sells it to someone outside of the family, then it's not protected. Let me see. Owners will vote on transactions at the annual league meetings are held right here in Phoenix, Arizona, starting March 29th. So, Jesse, that's March 29th. Mark Vargas, what's up, brother? Mark Davis is selling more of his shares of the Raiders. Yes, and it's really because, Mark, he knows that he can do it. He'll get a bunch of money, and he'll still have power. It isn't until he makes the decision to say, I'm going to sell all of my stock. That's why they keep saying majority, minority, majority, minority. That's just gray areas, so they don't have to give you actual numbers. But if Mark Davis does sell all of his stock, then this other guy, Egan, would become the owner, Egon Durbin. Regardless, the sale and the team, the stadium, you wrap it all up in one ball. It comes out with the Raiders being a new estimated value of $10 billion. That's a lot of dough. We should trade down for more picks. Troy, I think that is going to be the plan now. Only if only for the fact that we've brought in some real talent now. I love that wide receiver, Naylor. I love that kid. I could see him very quickly becoming a guy with Fernando Mendoza. When quarterbacks are coming in, obviously they want a wide receiver that's tall and has great hands, okay, and can go up and catch a leaping ball with other DBs and safeties. A tight end that's got great hands like our guy and can, get into routes and play, in space and make catches. But when you've got that little squirt back / number 3 wide receiver that's 5'4", 5'6", and can give you a little wiggle and he's gone, give you a little wiggle and he's gone, remind you of anyone like Hunter or something? Yeah. Well, Naylor is that guy with greater speed. And I think that Mendoza may adopt a relationship with that guy because he's going to be in camp right away. Mendoza's going to get a chance to see those blazing routes. He's going to be running back and forth across the middle and in post, short corners, so on and so forth. And he's going to be able to hit him, and I think it's going to be great. The man, what's up, brother? Welcome to the show. Appreciate the love on the lid. You a bike rider? Me too. I'm finishing a lowrider bike tomorrow as we speak. The only thing I had left, I was waiting for 2 fenders to come in the mail, a seat, because I matched up the handlebars and the seat with brown leather, and then the entire rest of the bike is white. The rims are multi-spoke with white wall tires, 26-inch on front to back. Pretty dope. Appreciate the love, Bradley Wolf. I've been practicing. I'm finding out that there's a little bit of a technique to it. Hi, Kim Calhoun. Much love, sweetheart. Let's see. How about old Joe Flacco for a 1-year deal? He still seems to be able to play. Maybe let Joe start the season and bring in Mendoza around week 6. Yeah, I've even heard Kirk Cousins' name get thrown around. I don't mind the idea of bringing in a veteran, but I don't want to bring in anyone. I think they really should look hard to see if even they could like maybe go after someone. Like in other words, I'm not saying Kirk Cousins is like the best quarterback in the world, but excuse me. But whatever team he ends up on, he always seems to put up numbers. And so to me, you bring that guy in. Now you have something. Mendoza can stay off the field, and Cousins doesn't get hurt, and he throws the ball pretty nice. We signed the big guy Hayward to block. Okay, nice. I think AOC will be the quarterback, or do we start Mendoza day one? No, if that was my only two choices, I'm starting AOC because I like the idea of getting Mendoza out there, but I want him to see the water before he jumps in. You know what I mean? He's got to see the sharks before he jumps in the water. He's got to understand that no matter what you do when you get in this water, there's sharks there. And so you got to be ready to think fast, move fast, and then make decisions. And all we can do is hope that he'll do that. And you can only hide a guy so long. Do you keep him on the bench for the whole season? A couple of years? Half a year? Who knows? To me, if you put AOC in there and he's struggling, and we get to week 3, and we're 1-2, I'm looking at Mendoza if we get to 1-3 or 1-4, then I'm like, okay, Mendoza, you see why we got you. Let's get you out on the field and let's see if your young talent can help this roster. The Cleveland Browns, of all teams, have asked for owners to also vote to be able to trade draft picks up to 5 years out. Travis, I've heard that too. I don't really mind that too much. It seems a little bit reckless because you're going to have some GM come in and go, all right, here's 2026, 2027, 2028, 2029. I want that guy. You know what I mean? And then the guy's a bust and the owner's firing him. And we're all laughing at him. You know what I mean? And sorry, my nose keeps itching. But and then you fire that guy, and then, what do you have? Bad team, no picks. I'm not a part of the Derek Carr bandwagon, and a quarterback don't need a perfect game, but he needs at least 2 out of the following 3, and one can be just as decent, but then the other one has to be pretty damn good if they're going to be a winner. O-line, weapons, defense. How many times did he have 2 of those? How many times did you want to have 1 or more? None. And consistency, vendors, and management. Coaches don't hurt either. Joe, okay, I get what you're saying, but we can't keep reinvestigating what happened to Derek Carr. I'm not making it all his fault. Yes, they didn't have a proper defense for him. Yes, they had offensive lines that year after year were constantly shaky. I get that. I just don't want that guy teaching our Mendoza young buck upcoming. I don't want him to even breathe in any of what might be negative, responses. And by the way, let's try to remember, this is the same guy that with his brother was doing a podcast, dragging us through the coals because they thought we were screwing Derek Carr around. Don't forget those last 2 years with Derek Carr's contract. Okay, him and his brother were going on podcasts, and they were just raining down hell about how the organization does this and organization does that. And we're going to expose some stuff. And I mean, Derek Carr's brother was like really getting into it. You thought it happened to him. He was so mad. Putting foots in him. No, Joe, it's all good, Joe. I get what you're saying. At least I think I did. Chewy Raiders, what's up, man? Welcome to the show. Yeah, Bill Cox, I think the Chiefs are finally due for their downfall. I think we're here. Now, I would argue that it's like catching a serial killer though when he's 80. You know what I mean? He got away with it. You know, I mean, you're just getting his last like 8 years of life on Earth before he croaks and dies. He got away with doing all the terrible things he wanted to do. And I think this suggests it's the same thing. I think that the Chiefs won however many rings they won. So the fact that they're kind of disbanding now, slowly crumbling apart with cap space and guys getting injured and leaving, losing Tyreek Hill, and now their tight end Hall of Famer is going to be gone. He said he's giving him one more year though, so he will be back for 2026. So we'll still have to deal with those sneaky Chiefs, but we'll see. Okay, so let me pull up my other note here that I had. I want to talk to you guys about with the free agency and the picks we brought in, which I thought were good. Okay, so we'll just get the obvious one out of the way. The Tyler Linderbaum signing is incredible. You're bringing in one of the best, if not the best, centers in football. He's only 25, just like the two linebackers we just brought in. So you're bringing in young, talented players. But beyond those three, then I start to have questions. So Tyler Linderbaum, the center, Quay Walker, the linebacker, and Nakobe Dean, the other linebacker, no problem. But Kwity Paye, I'm not ready to say that that's a great move for us. He seems to take plays off. I'm not sure about the guy's motor. We're gonna see, because we've got him, so we're gonna see. But I'm not sure about that. I would tell people to go back and just watch highlights of him, and you'll see he's not bad. His highlights are good, but I don't see graceful. I don't see all-star. You know what I mean? And I was hoping that we were going to do something like that. For example, like the Trey Hendricks deal that was sitting there that the Ravens went and got. Why didn't we go get that guy? Regardless of whether we were going to have Max or not, because you need bookends. But hopefully Kwity Paye will be able to show up and be that bookend. Now, Jalen Nailor, wide receiver. Now, you're not going to hear too much about this because Trey Tucker and Jalen Nailor aren't really that different. Their history is similar. A lot of talent, not quite proven yet. Sparks here and there of great things mixed in with doldrums of, getting covered and not being able to get open and make plays. So Jalen Nailor and our guy, Trey Tucker, very similar. But I kind of liked Jalen Nailor a little more only because I felt like he had better footwork. In other words, take off, go as fast as you can, do that little breakdown, break right, stop, go left, and make a guy break his ankles like an and one mixtape. That's what Jalen Nailor can do. And Trey Tucker seemed to always struggle with that, the getting in and out of his breaks when he would try to make turns. He's not very good at acceleration out of stops. And so I think that's the number one thing that's just been holding him back, because as a defensive back, if I see that about him, I know all I got to do is deal with his initial kick. And as soon as he starts going into his, pitter patter to start a move, I'm now as a defensive back, I'm going to get up on him, blanket him, and he's going to have a hard time. And as far as the question earlier, Jim Garrison, about Joe Flacco, even I think Joe Flacco is probably a little too old to be doing this now. Sean Scott, did I see the new Chiefs running back signed his contract wearing Raiders shirt? No, I did not see that. But I would argue this. He probably was in negotiations with us, or we were talking to him, and then the trigger didn't get pulled. So he goes to the Chiefs and wears a Raiders shirt to kind of mock us, troll us for the fact that, we weren't the one that got the deal done. The Chiefs were. But, I don't really care. I don't really care. Football is probably one of the sports that more than any other sport, you don't really care what young guys have to say. You know what I mean? If they show up on the field and they can play, all right, then we'll hear what you have to say. But until then, nah. I don't give a damn what that guy has to say. All right, so let's move forward. So the deal with Mark Davis, I said a while back that I felt like when the league made it very clear, the league was not secretive about this. They said they did not want Mark Davis in Vegas. They felt like he was not a good real estate guy, that he would make mistakes going out there, that some of these other owners, magnates that are used to having, billions right on hand to hire construction workers and, get things going. Mark Davis isn't that kind of guy. Now, he did it in Vegas, and he did it kind of bad. He overpaid. His original estimate was way over. You know what I mean? And he made a lot of mistakes. They asked him how he came up with the number of how many seats he wanted, and he said, I don't know. I just thought that would be a good number. God's honest. I'm quoting Mark Davis. He didn't even try to hide it. That's how buffoonery he is. He does something incredibly stupid and then tells people about it because he doesn't realize how incredibly stupid it is, because he's incredibly stupid. Put butts in you. The haircut gives it away. When you look at his haircut, you know who he is right off jump. Just stuck in the 80s. His turtleneck and his acid wash jeans. Who even does that anymore? It's one thing to wear jeans, but acid wash ones? And then he wears the jean jacket too? Get out of here. I can't help it. All right, now, last but not least, Eric Stokes. The Eric Stokes re-signing was fantastic. We all saw what he did with us the first season. Nice guy, sticks to the guy, locker room guy, tough as nails, talks about hitting guys in the preseason and practice and so on. And it shows those guys who are just here to pitter-pat until the season starts. He's like, nah, I come in there. I'm about to put on work. I need to get hit. I need to knock guys down and get my body ready for the contact. I was like, yeah, Eric Stokes got that game. Okay. So, best center in football. We talked about that. We talked about the Ravens being crybabies. I talked about Mark losing the team. Oh, yes. The idea that we may drop back in the draft. Guys, I'm kind of okay with that. I'm kind of okay with that. When you really think of the fact that, let me see, I got it right here. We have, what is this? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Oh, I thought it was 11. Okay, now I'm glad I double checked. So we have 10 picks. I'm just going to go through them with you one by one. Round 1, number 1 overall, Mendoza. Nice. Here we go. Round 1, pick number 14. Now, see, we have another pick in round 1 at 14. So, Joe, when you said, all the other good defensive linemen are going to be gone, no, they won't. Not before 14. There's going to be guys on this board at 14 that are nice. And we just got to hope that the Raiders see what we see and pull the trigger. Okay, round 2, pick number 4. Now, that's a very high pick. And I want you to pay attention to these numbers. And you'll notice that as each round starts, the Raiders are high first pick in each of the rounds. They're in the top 3 to 5 picks of each round. That's really good because now in every round you're going into, you're getting a shot at who the best player may be. It's still remaining on the wall during that pick. Okay, so round 2, pick number 4. Then round 3, pick number 3. See where we're going? Okay, then round 4, pick number 2. Okay, round 4, pick number 17, right? And then what's 17? 17, right in there. Pick number 4, the final pick number 4, they have 34. So those are all high fourth round picks, plus the third round pick. And then that's number 3, fourth round pick, number 2, and then second, fourth round pick, 17, and third, fourth round pick, 34. That's sweet. So all the way down to where you're finally at the 5th round and you pick 32nd. So that's pretty far off, but it doesn't start until all the way into the 5th round. Outside of that, 1, 2, 3, and 4, you're picking high in every round. So even if we don't trade back, you're in great position to find guys that could come to the team and help right away. But even if we don't, if we do want to trade down, now you're just buffing up these other picks. For example, at round 5, pick number 36, Then round 6, you get picks 1 and 4. Oh, okay. Yeah, I wanted to make sure I was reading that right. Wait a minute. Yeah. Oh, wow. Yeah. Okay. So round 6, we get pick 1 in the first pick in the 6th round, and then the 4th pick in the 6th round, and then in the 7th round, the 3rd pick. So we really don't have a kind of large and out of the way pick until the 5th round pick at 36. Before that, we're picking in the top 2 or 3 guys in each round, and then we get past that pick in the 5th to the 6th. We get 1, 4, 7th. We get number 3. I'm sure that all made total sense to you. Sorry if I read that too fast. Mark Vargas, I appreciate you asking. The family's doing great. Bill Cox, I do think we still have the back from Georgia. I'm not positive. I didn't check that before my showtime. Usually, if that would have happened, I probably would have gotten an alert, though. NFL owners vote March 27th on that successful plan for the Raiders' future ownership stake. Al Davis got to be cursing from the grave. Yeah, I'm telling you, man, Travis, I think these lawyers and this money, they're going to flim-flam Mark Davis, and he's going to sell, and he's going to act like it's what he wanted to do, and it won't be. And I told you right when we signed in Vegas that the NFL is going to give him just enough rope to, you know what I'm saying? Allegedly. Jim Garrison, I can't believe you asked me about Joe Flacco. And don't get me wrong, I happen to love Joe Flacco. I really do. I love any guy that's gotten that age. I mean, he was playing great last year. He looked good last year. I shouldn't have said great. He wasn't great, but he was good. Okay, Sean Scott said, I want to see AOC have a true opportunity as a starter. I'm happy to have Max back. And I think the Raiders did a hell of a job so far. Yeah, I'm not too hard about that, Sean Scott. The only one I want to wait and see before I make a comment is Kwity Paye. Kwity Paye is the only guy I need to see a little bit more. I want to see camp. I want to see how the other players are reacting to him. I want to see the coaching staff and what they're saying about him. You know what I mean? Because we're gonna get those reports about what's happening about him joining the roster, the excitement of how he can help take some of the pressure off Max Crosby. That conversation is going to get brought up. There's no doubt about it. And then he'll do the politically correct thing, and he'll say, "Well, I'm here because I'm going to do my job. I want to try and make it where Max Crosby can get more and more sacks. I'm going to get my sacks, and we're going to have a hell of a party at the center of the offensive line. Let's go." But but we got to wait and see if he's going to be able to do it. I don't know. Round 1, number 1, and then round 1, pick number 14. Raiders 2026 draft. Bada bing. Oh, hey, stop looking at my wife. That was rude. Just kidding. It's too much glare. You can't see her anyway. Okay, here we go. Sorry about the glare. But yeah, believe me when it says round 1, pick number 1, and then round 1, pick number 14. It might have been a part of something else, another business deal they made. I'm not sure. Maybe I have an old card. I don't know. But as far as I know, that's our picks. Oh, that's right. Because the Baltimore deal broke down. Yeah, you're probably right. That's probably something I got before the Baltimore deal broke down. So that makes sense. Bob, I don't really. I think they should let AOC start. If they want to bring in Flacco, let him be the number 3. If someone gets hurt, like AOC, if he gets hurt, then you could immediately bring in Flacco and keep, Mendoza still learning. I'd really rather see that. I think Max is heated and wanting to show everyone his knee was fine, and I'm hoping that energy will rub off on the rest of the team. When Mark, well, when Max got back, I would say, I was going to say something about Mark Davis, but when Max got back and he immediately started shouting, he's a Raider, I'm a Raider, you guys know I'm a Raider, I've only ever wanted to be an effing Raider, I'm a Raider. We know, Max, no one's questioning that. We know that was business, team business. It's not a big deal. Now, but what are we going to get from him now? You know, I'm not the kind of guy that just keeps falling in love with someone. We got to know, what are we going to get now? Is that knee going to become something that's degenerative? You know what I mean? We got to wait and see where that's at. And then I haven't heard him talk about his sobriety in quite a while. I hope he gets back to that. I'm not saying he fell off the wagon. I don't want to even imply that. That's not what I'm saying. I'm just simply saying it hasn't been something he's talked about in a while. You know what I mean? At first, he was very open and proud about his sobriety, and then I'm not hearing as much about it. And I want to be very careful what I'm saying, because, again, I'm not accusing him of anything. I don't think he has fallen off the wagon. I'm not saying that at all. I'm just saying, very specifically, it just seems like he's not talking about it anymore. And my history with people that I've known, friends and family, when they stop talking about it, it's usually because they don't want to talk about it. And if they don't want to talk about it, it's usually because it's rearing its ugly head up again. You know what I mean? So I hope the fame, the new contract, the baby, the wife, and everything is going great. But I'm concerned, just mildly, this much. But I'm still glad he's back. I'm glad the Ravens got butthurt and and cut the deal. I'm glad for it. I mean, I'm not saying that there's any specific reason for that. I'm just simply saying I'm fine with that. Completely fine with that. All right, let me get over here real quick. Hit that. Boom. All right, if you guys want to know the numbers for the recent player signings, it's on Raiders.com. Just head over to Raiders.com and all the new players and what their numbers are going to be. You can check that out. And by the way, Linderbaum, that's a jersey you should probably buy, because I have fans all the time say they buy a jersey, they love the player, then the guy gets traded and they don't know what to do with the jersey afterward. I don't think Linderbaum's going to get traded. He's going to probably end his career as a Raider. I could see that, because it's just such a crucial position. We also signed a guard, Spencer Burford. I like that. Just going to give us some depth moving forward. The offensive line suddenly might end up being a nice little asset for us instead of a liability. We also re-signed defensive tackle Thomas Booker. That's the guy that we brought over from the Eagles. I love him a lot. A real force in the middle. He'll help us a lot. I think it's safe to say that this is exciting, what we're seeing, because when you have a young quarterback, franchises tend to step on the gas and get more talent around him and try to win now with that young guy. And we're seeing that being done. And this is just the beginning. There's still a lot more moves to do. They've got a lot of cap space still to come. And the desire to spend it. Oh, wow. Oh, wow. I love that. What a cool story. Hang on. I'll read this to you real quick. There's a sense of pressure from Connor Hayward that has come from his last name and the position he plays. His father is the late fullback Craig Ironhead Hayward. We picked that kid up. I love that. Connor Hayward wants to be a little bit of everything on the field. All right. Hey, any man from the Hayward family, I'm interested. The Hayward family produces ballers. So if we're getting that guy, I'm in. Oh, okay. I love that. Okay, Sean, I love that. He was just talking about his sobriety regarding people saying he was smoking weed, and he was talking about he don't drink or smoke weed, only cigars. Yeah, I hate that people would bring that up as fans. It's not healthy. Ramiro Castro, nice. I appreciate the update. I did not see that. How much cap space do we still have? I believe it was like $59 million, I want to say. I'll have to double check it. Max made it post about a week ago on his page about so many years of sobriety. I just can't remember the number of years. Thank you, guys. I appreciate that. I had not seen that, honestly. I've been busy. You notice I haven't been on the air for a little while, but I'm really glad to hear that. I'm really glad to hear that, because what happened seemed like the Ravens just got butthurt, and I'll take it. You know what I mean? We never had a problem with Max. Why would we have one now when it was the team that tried to make that deal? Not Max. Max just wanted a deal, you know what I mean, and wanted to be with a team that wanted him. And I'm not sure he felt wanted by the Raiders anymore. You know what I mean? All right, guys, that's my show. Much love. Shout out to our armed forces. Army, Navy, Air Force, Marines, National Guard, Space Force. For all you do, the energy and love of this show is dedicated to your sacrifice, active and veteran. Much love. Let's go. I'll be back Monday. That's Monday. Next week, I'll be back. See me then next Monday. Much love. Raider Bear family page. Like and subscribe. You know why? Because if you care, you share a Raider Bear. It's